When you start opening for InDesign, this is the screen that you will see in your document. And this is the current version that you'll see now through Adobe Creative Cloud. When you start selecting, you select New, and you will see the box at the right and the new document flyout, which will, open, and you will select the recent. Then make sure that you will, orient your board. So you will pick the blue button, Create, at the end. So when you're in this process, you're going to change your units from picas to inches at the right screen flyout, the very screen that's highlighted. So you would change your measurement, adjust your orientation for your document to landscape, as you see here in blue. Instead of portrait, you would go to landscape. Then click Create button at the bottom of the new document flyout, which you see highlighted, and there's the blue button. And then this is how your document looks through InDesign. And that's how your document will be shown on the screen as starters. So when you're starting to place new objects and photos in your document, go to New. So when you go to File, go to New, then select Place. Place that's being highlighted, that is where you can go into any files and pull PDFs or photographs. When you search for a new file, make sure that you choose a PDF copy, or you can choose a photo like a JPEG or a GIF, and I think a PNG file, anything that's a photo. Now shown here, I'm pulling a PDF copy of a floor plan. And what happens afterwards, it will come up on the screen as you see here. You'll see this blue outline, and then you adjust it on your screen. And it will also show a thumbnail in the section where it says Page. And this is your first page. When you place your PDF on the document page, set the object. The outside guidelines will turn brown to set the page. Go to the right screen flyout and select Pages tab. This is where you will have the thumbnail of your document that is being shown. Select Layers tab, and you will see you'll add layers, and we will see that. Adjust the floor plan on this screen, which will be placed in the PDF file. Here is where you would add your layers for your document presentation, and we will see that live. So this is the example that you'll see as a flyout. Go to Place again and add next a photo. And so in your files, I am selecting photos for finishes. And as an interior designer, I would go to File and then place the photo in this document. And next to sample photos, I would go and select Place, and this will be shown here. Place the first photo on the screen, which is shown. Then add the other photos and samples that you have in your file, and place and select the photo. So you'll see that highlighted, and it'll be highlighted in blue. Now add the photo items again by using Place. Then add the next item, which is to show the photo of a paint sample. So I am doing a lot of the samples that I would have as photos when I'm putting my document together. And as an interior designer, for example, color paint chips, I just put in my document. And then I would go to Place and then start picking out other photos, such as light fixtures. As you go to Place, then select Next Light Fixture in the photo. Then go to Place on the page, which is shown here. So then on the document page, and after everything is shown, this will be the same for the photos of pendant light fixtures. Next, go back to place, and then select the next item. Then go to your files and select photos of furniture such as this one. So I have an arrangement of photos that I had from a previous project. Then select the photo on the page as it's shown here. Then select place and add the next one in the document. So what's happening is you are actually showing photos and you're putting it in this document, which will later become electronic print. Next, select Chrome. I'm going to select my tables and then I'll place everything on the document page. So here where you see the selection of type for the lettering and heading of the document, which is in red, so you will see the red arrow going to type. This is where you can change and select your font. So you will go to type and then select your font. After you select your font, then select the size. Now, your fonts are going to be in points, and those are like, I would say, starting from the smallest to the largest. So I'm choosing 24 point. Then I put in my heading. So I'm just putting my heading, Carlton Residence Manor. And then I highlight the text, and then I select type, and then go to the right icons and select the color icon. And you'll see that paint palette. Now here's where you change the color of your text and highlight the document. You will select the color palette icon. When you're selecting the color icon, then the flyout, select the color tab. Then when that opens up, you will be able to change the color of the text. So the whole idea is to actually outline the text. I would say underscore it, then change the color, and you'll see this live. And then here is where you change the color of the text by scrolling the bottom color bar to change the text color by showing it this way. So you see at the bottom, there is pretty much, you can actually pull colors from different spectrums, and then you can also pick your color. Now, I picked the color aqua, and this selection is changed to an aqua color. So in other words, my text is going to change from what would normally be the black to aqua. Now, once it's changed, then the text heading is shown on the document. Then go to the selection tool, then go back to file, then select place again. And each time you're using place. Now in your files, for example, when you select a wood finish photo, and I'm going to place that in the document, and these are basic things that I would show. When, as an example, I'm selecting a wood sample, and I just put it in the document, and then both selected wood finishes are shown in this document presentation. And the following, the same place fabric, in other words, now I'm picking fabrics, I'm using the same photos and going into place and putting it in my document. Next, use your selection tool and go to place and select the next photo for this document. So I'm filling up my document. And you see now I have all sorts of images, not just the floor plan, but I have finishes and fabrics and lighting and so on. In my files, I will select another fabric material as shown. Then place this document as shown. Then I will go to text where you see the icon there, and I would start selecting text or typing text. And then I add my text with the description below. Then, and when I add the text to the other pictures, the lighting, the furniture, and the finishes of this document. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to go to Save As, and you'll see that shown here. And then when I'm creating my file, I give it a new name. And so I'm going to save the document, and that's how you're going to save your InDesign document. Your InDesign extension is going to be ID. Then go back to the file and then do another Save As to save the file. and then adding a new document to this folder, which I'm already in the process of doing. And then I can go back to the file, then select Export. Then save the file format in the ID, which will be InDesign. So when I pull it up again, it's going to show. Then when I finish creating this document, it will be able to show at the bottom of the screen, and you can bring it up for the document to be printed. So now, since you've seen this, we're actually going to look at an example. Now we're in the screen, and I want to show this screen for a reason, and just to be on the safe side. This is the current 2021 InDesign screen. And so you see ID here for InDesign. So when I want to start and create new, I'm going to go here to create new. And when I go into create new, the first thing you're going to see is the letter size. Now, I've discussed of where you would find and set your document. First of all, change your measurements to inches. You have the opportunity to change it to anything that you would like. I'm going to choose landscape, and I have it at this size. I can always change it, so why don't I do this? In terms of size, I'm going to change it to 11 by 14. And then I'm going to scroll down, and then I'm going to create. And now I have my document. Now minus this, which we all know that comes up on the screen for InDesign, is a welcome tutorial. You'll see tutorials like this a lot. So we're just going to close that out. And now, just like I had discussed, how do you place your objects? First of all, you'll go to File. You'll go down to Place, like you see here. You don't have to type anything. But when you're looking for pictures, you will find them here, and you will place them. And then once you place your pictures, then automatically it comes up on the screen. Now, for your text, you have your type. You go to fonts. You have almost nearly 60 fonts to choose from. So if I wanted to choose a font, I can go and look for something that can stand out. So let me just drag down and see if a font that I like and something that's readable. So I'll go to Garamond and go regular. And then also what I'll do is go to type and then go to size and then go to, let's say 24 point. And all I do is go to this and then draw this out. And then I can type in the font in this box. Now, since I type the text, I can always highlight here and then I can go back to type and then I can also change the size. So if I had it at 24 point, I may want to switch it to 48. And so now you see the difference. So what happens then, if I wanted to change the color, for example, which is always the case, I can highlight here. And of course, this is my page. So this is the first page. I can go back and click here and go to fill. Look for the colors, go to the color palette, okay? Now I can go to shade here, and then I can pick the color. And so I'm gonna pick a color. I'm gonna use green, or maybe it's purple, and then it comes up on the screen. So when I go back, let's try this again. You can also change the inscription. So if you don't want it filled, you can have it this way, and it'll look like this. Okay. And also, if you wanted to put photos and do things in the logical order, you can always start out with boxes, like pulling rectangle here. And that's the start of pulling in photos. But first you can also copy. I can copy, and then I'm going to paste, right click, and then I move right here and line it up. And I can also do the same thing and then have them set here. Okay, so this is one way of getting everything set. Now, I can add other typesetting here as well. And also, I can change the justification. That's another thing that you may not realize. So even when this same typesetting, let's just move this up so it's centered. Or maybe move it back down. do a highlight of this, and let's see, we're going to change the type for so even from here, you can change it this way and go to on your page for your characters and your text style. And so I'm going to center this so they'll be much easier. And so now when I go back and stop, there it is. And so now if I look for other objects, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight again. I'm going to do typesetting at the bottom. I'm going to use the font. I've used Garmin already, so I'm going to use Garmin again. And I'm going to use Garmin regular. So you see that. Now when I go to this for text, create another box. So my new type at the bottom is smaller and it's 24 point, and then I'm going to center this. And then I'm going to go to fill. And then I'm going to find another color. So I can change the color this way. Or I can go into the color palette and get something a little more. And so here it is. Okay. So now that part is done, but to keep in mind, when you're putting your documents together, you're always going to go to File, and you're also going to go to Place, and you can do searches. So I'm going to go through Creative Cloud. I'm going to look for other pictures. So everything in the library that I can pull and bring in. Now, when I decide to save, then I can always go to Save As. And I'm going to save this document. Now I'm going to go into my pictures to do that, and I'm going to just put in a new folder, And I'm just going to give it a name. And then here is a folder. And save. So this is the most basic way that you can start using InDesign, because it's a publishing tool. All of your icons are over here and your menu is up here. So even when you go to view and you decide you want to add others to your desktop, you can pull in things like color, you can pull in things like editorial and assignment, and then you can type everything in here.